Okay, people, so Signature sent across a new flick called Elevation. It is directed by George Nolfi, written by John Glenn, Jacob Roman, and Kenny Ryan. The film is produced by Alex Black, Brad Fuller, John Glenn, Anthony Mackie, George Nolfi, Natalie Sellers, Joel Vattel, and Jeremy Kip Walker. It's executive produced by Mitchell Zhang, Jason Spire, Matthew Sidari, Michael Rothstein, John Rosenberg, Samuel Hall, Warren Goz, Eric Gold, Alex Gino, Michael Bowman, Carl Bayer, and Morena Baccarin. It is associate produced by Julian Breen. Co-produced by Kenny Ryan, Jacob Roman, with line production from Jaran Rossiter. H. Scott Salinas took care of the music. Shelley Johnson is on cinematography. Right, it's all edited by Joel Vitero. Kim Coleman was down with the casting. Bill Booz is production design. Right, art direction, we have Kevin C. Lang, Scott Upshur, and Sally Shanghai Bai to thank. Right, set decoration is Joanne Baker. Costume design is Aisha Lai. Hair, makeup, we have got Stephanie Arbol, Charmaine Balajak, Carrie Farris, Chantel Langston, Antonio McGill, Marina Skibber, Michelle Vanderpool, Leo Wan, and Corey Taylor Bryant. What else do we have here? Special effects: Jeremy Farlow, David Fletcher, Kate Jones, Clint Mahoney, Jackson Rowden, and Antonio Lozzo. Man, they list the stunt people: William Sharp, Cyrus Lisey, Adam Hart, Angela Galvin, Jeremy Fitzgerald, Caitlin Dushell, Heather Bonomo, Tanika Benjamin, Deborah Areta, and Kevin Arnold. All right, our cast. So, Will is played by Anthony Mackie. All right, his wife Tara, who you see in flashbacks, played by Rachel Nix. Their son Hunter, played by Danny Boyd Jr. We've got Katie, played by Maddie Hasson. All right, we've got Nina, played by Morena Baccarin. There is Hannah, played by Shauna Earp. Tim, played by Tyler Gray. Right, we see Nina's family, picture, right? The husband is played by David Malkoff. The son, played by Drexel Malkoff, right? There's some refugees, other people in the settlement, played by Greg S. Perry, James Anthony Perez, Dalia Orozco, Ian Hummel, and Mike Hickman. Right, so the gist of the story. The world has changed. The only habitable place left for humanity is in the high mountains, above 8,000 feet. Below 8,000 feet dwell the creatures that killed 95% of the human population less than 3 years ago. To save the life of his young son, a father is forced to venture below the line with a scientist he despises, but with who just might hold the key to defeating the monsters, and a young woman determined to keep them both alive long enough to save the human race. Yeah. That is the gist, people. And, man, this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fucking fun, right? I really, really did enjoy it. It's funny because, right, so a couple of our writers, right? Jacob Roman and Ryan. I believe this is their first script that has made it to the screen. Right? They've sold stuff, but this is the first one. And the funny thing is, and John Glenn, man, he made some films I did not enjoy. But this, I really enjoyed the fuck out of this, right? We do have a director's statement. It reads, imagine a world where 95% of the population has perished, but the remaining 5% live in serene mountaintop communities above 8,000 feet, untouched by the death and destruction below. These virtual gardens of Eden offer everything a person could need: food, water, safety, and stunning natural beauty. The question that intrigued me was, could humanity truly thrive in such a world? What would people become when all their physical needs are met, but they are isolated from the rest of the world? This film starts with that premise and then takes you on a gripping journey where our characters must venture below the line at 8,000 feet that defines their lives. It's in this descent that we confront a deeper question. Is the very technology and intelligence that helped us evolve and create great civilizations also driving us towards destruction? Bringing this story to life, especially for a third time working with Anthony Mackie, alongside the incredible talents of Morena Baccarin and the rest of the cast, was both challenging and exhilarating. We shot in breathtaking yet demanding locations, from operating ski lifts in the Colorado Rockies to deep within an active mine a mile underground. These settings aren't just backdrops, they elevate the tension and stakes of the film, creating a truly immersive theatrical experience. Our entire team was all in, pushing boundaries to ensure that this movie not only entertains, but also makes you question the future of humanity. So there you go, man. That's what this film is. And I think they do a very good job. You know what I mean? I really do think that, like, just from the beginning, right? Because we have a little kid, he's walking up a hill and, down a hill, should I say. Like, gets his binocular out and he's looking, and then we hear a noise. Hear this noise, and you just know, that's not a good noise, right? Shit's gonna go down. And this kid is running. And, like, because we see these, as the kid's walking down the hill, we see these white things, like these white posts. And so this kid is running, and he falls over. But as the camera kind of pans up, we see he's fallen behind these white posts. And then this monster, we get a little glimpse, not too much, stops. And we're like, oh shit, okay. Because like Anthony Mackie is narrating at the start. So we realize, oh, right, these monsters can't go past this line. Right? So we get, after the narration's finished, we kind of get an understanding of what this is, the world these people are in. And we also have these flashbacks, right? Because it's just Will and his son. There's Will's wife, Tara. She died, right? She died trying to find answers with the doctor, right? So we have this interesting backdrop, as it were, you know? And I say, like, just the idea of where these monsters came from, all of this is interesting, right? It's pretty interesting. The reason why, because that's the thing, right? They're at the top of this mountain. The creatures can't get them. Can't get them. So why would you leave? You know? Why would you leave? Now, I think in past films, you know, sometimes the reasons don't make sense. You're just like, huh? Like, that's not enough to make someone want to do that thing. But in this one, firstly, right, living at altitude isn't for everyone. Right? There's people that just, their lungs can't cope. You know, they might have a, I cannot remember. But it's like an illness. Oh my God, there's a word for it and I can't think. Autoimmune. Yes, they may have an autoimmune illness that means that their just body breaks down, right? They cannot function at high altitude. And Hunter has this issue, right? It's difficult for him to breathe. He uses a machine at night to give him oxygen, right? So they've run out of the filters they need for this machine to run. So that's a legitimate reason to venture down, right? And the resentments, although, you know, we've kind of had these things in films and TV before, again, makes sense. All of this makes sense. So that's great, right? Just the idea of where the monsters come. Did I say that? I can't remember. Man, like, but the idea where these monsters come from, right? It is interesting because we usually have them from other things, right? So this is a little different. Now, we've had films where they've come from, you know, but not many, right? So just that aspect of things is all good. Now, I will say, right, there are things that you know, okay, this is going to happen. These people are probably going to die. We're going to get to here, blah, blah, blah. There's certain things which you kind of suspect. But I think they do a very good job with the tension, right? Because at the beginning, we don't fully see the monsters. And then as the film goes on, we get a better look at them. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good design. I will say that. And also what the monsters can do. You know, that we see that as the film goes on. Because, you know, at first you think, oh, they just do this. And then we realize, oh, they can do that too. Fuck. You know? So it's very well done. Very well done. Right? And they build the tension well. You know, like ski lifts, mines, all of these things. You know, it works. It really does work, you know? And throughout the film, the score. Oh man, I really do like, what's homie's name? H. Scott Salinas. I really do like his scores. And there's this music that he's used throughout as a bed to underpin certain scenes. It's called The Resistance. I know because I Shazammed it, because I liked it so much. Like, it does ring a bell. It reminds me of something else from another film, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But that bit of music really does, you know what I mean, energize, right? It works. It's not necessarily like this mood music, but it kind of invokes an emotion, you know? So I thought the score worked very well, right? The cinematography, obviously, they're on top of mountains and shit, and just all the cinematography is great. But also the way everything has been dressed. You believe in these locations. You know what I mean? All of that works really well. All of that stuff really well works. The relationships between everyone, which isn't a surprise. It's not a surprise because George Nolfi, like, he didn't just direct, you know, he didn't direct. He wrote The Bourne Ultimatum, right? He wrote, and The Bourne Ultimatum was I enjoyed the fuck out of that, right? But he also wrote and directed, right? Oh, and he produced it. One of my favorite films, The Adjustment Bureau, right? That was George, The Adjustment Bureau. So watching Elevation, I mean, all of these good points and the things that work so well, right? The atmosphere, the connective tissue with the characters and the story. Like, you'd be like, obviously. You know what I mean? Like, towards the end, you kind of guess how it's all going to play out. But even knowing, it, you know what I mean? It still gives you that little, ooh, that was good. That feeling, right? And then we get the kind of coda, right, of what potentially happens next, right? And you're just like, oh, okay. And then then they tag it just with this scene that really talks to a possible sequel. And even without that scene, there is enough here that makes you go, this could have legs, man. This could have legs. Whether you do another film, you could, you know what I mean, do it as a TV show. But you do want to see more, right? You do want to see more. I was worried they might do a thing with a character, like, be like, oh, you thought this, well, bum bum. They didn't do that, which, you know, I was happy for. Now, yeah, I can't really say anything else, but you know, it could still be open with them, But, but I just thought, yeah, I enjoyed this. I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a very well done sci-fi film. Like, obviously, it's got a decent budget, right? But it's not got the budget of a huge tentpole film. You know what I mean? But what they did, you know what I mean? We're not seeing aliens all the time, and just the effects of them and what they're doing and all of this jazz. I think that was done really well. But you're kind of setting it not crazy in the future or anything like that. So you're able to tell this story and keep it kind of grounded. We're playing with those themes of family. What would you do to save the ones you love? Right? What would you do to save mankind? You know what I mean? What George said, like, if you had everything, right? You weren't being attacked and all of that. Is that enough? Right? And we see these things and you do ponder to yourself, I imagine, like, what would I do in this situation? You know what I mean? How would I cope in this scenario? People, Elevation. Now, it's already been out in the cinemas in the US, right? But it will be dropping on digital, on all your favorite VODs, on the 8th of February, right, in the UK, and the 21st of February in the US. So, yeah, I just look, if you like George's other stuff, I mean, if you like if you liked the Adjustment Bureau, I think you're gonna dig Elevation. You know what I mean? Like, if you've enjoyed Mackie's other kind of sci-fi films, I think you'll like this, right? I thought, it's really good. Like, we had Slingshot last year, and we had there was that spaceship, If You Were the Last, which with Mackie, which was really good. I mean, if you like that, I think you will like this. It's not the same thing, but it's just a good vibe, right? If you like sci-fi, if you like action, then yeah, this one will talk to you. You know what I mean? So remember, the 8th of February in the UK, the 21st of February in the US. Elevation is coming to VODs. People, enjoy. And if you were in the States and you saw it in a cinema, or in one of the other countries where it may have already hit, let me know what you thought, man. Let me know what you thought. But yeah, Elevation.